This is Randy Rosetta with HubCpreps.com with the video edition of the Eagle Exchange. I'm talking to Austin Dunkelson and Zane Horn, two of the seniors who, when I told him I wanted to talk to some guys that maybe are off the radar a little bit that I hadn't spoken to, he mentioned you two right off the bat, which at Lubbock Christian, that's a badge of honor. That means you guys are doing your job, you're kind of plugging away behind the scenes. Austin, for somebody who, especially offensive lineman, that's kind of your MO anyway. Why is that such a big part of Lubbock Christian's DNA, that there are guys that maybe don't steal the headlines or dominate everybody's attention, but you guys are kind of the backbone of a program like this?
Well, for one thing, we're offensive linemen. We don't like taking the credit. We like blocking so guys like Zane can get to the end zone and get us some yards and win games.
And Zane, I know Coach has talked about you a lot on defense, about some things you've done over there. You're a pretty typical Lubbock Christian guy too. You're not the biggest guy in the world, but he mentioned that you just go out there and you grind, you put your nose down and make things happen on that side of the ball. What's it mean to wear that blue and gold uniform and to know that you just going out and doing everything you can is part of your DNA?
Yeah, I'd say that one of the things the coaches are big on is just, maxing out and leaving it all on the field. And you're not doing it for yourself or for your own glory. You're doing it for God and for your team. So it's got a little bit of a purpose bigger than yourself that you're working for.
And I've gotten to know Coach pretty well. That's always a pretty common theme. And with this team, he told me that there's been a lot of hurdles to overcome, a lot of things to kind of get through week by week, but you guys just keep having success. Last week, 54-0 against Brownfield, got you ready for what you're coming into district now. Austin, where is this team at mentally in terms of what you guys have to do now to kind of start working towards what you want to do in the playoffs?
Mentally, I think we're all there. We know we're going to have some tough times on the field every once in a while. We know we're going to have mental bust. But we know when we have those, we know what we should fix. And, yeah.
Zane, I mentioned to you that you're very much a typical Lubbock Christian player because you go both ways quite a bit. You have a lot of guys who do that. How much does that kind of speak to what you guys do on a weekly basis? How much of your preparation is getting ready, not just physically, but mentally, to be out there a bunch?
Yeah, we'll focus a lot. We'll have lots of meetings, offense and defense, and I think it kind of helps. Playing both ways, I think it helps to see both sides of the ball, and sometimes you see things about defenses and it's easier to look at defense from an offensive perspective if you played that, or vice versa.
One thing about you guys offensively, with Welker Horn, no relation, back and healthy this year, is he's getting the ball to a lot of different guys. Coaches will talk about picking your poison. You guys have a lot of poison that coaches have to choose from. How fun is it to be part of that offense that's just so versatile and kind of unpredictable?
Yes, sir. It's fun that we have lots of guys that are willing to work and that are good at what they do, and we can share the ball. We don't have to just have one guy that can do everything and nobody else is there. We have lots of guys that I think are all very capable, which is good for an offense.
And Austin, you guys up front are having fun because you guys are putting up big numbers. When Welker got back and he was healthy and everything was kind of back to normal, what you kind of wanted to or expected to be, how good is this offense to be a lineman for? How fun is it to block for these guys?
It's really good because a lot of times, even though a lot of teams won't do this, but I'll have skill guys coming up to me and telling me, hey, good snaps, good blocking, telling me that to the entire line too. And, that's really encouraging to hear from them. Even if we have some bad plays, they're like, hey, come on, we know you can fix it. Just two-clap it and move on.
So I was a catcher in baseball, and center's a little bit like catcher. You're going to be involved in a lot of plays. You kind of talked about it, you may not get a lot of spotlight on you, but working with Welker, knowing that if you get him the ball, he's going to make something happen. How much have you guys worked on just the center exchange, the getting used to each other, make sure everything's clean every play?
Well, a lot of times in practice when we're doing special teams and stuff, he'll call me over and say, hey, let's work on some snaps, and then we work on snaps. He gets ready to catch them, and then we kind of make a joke every once in a while about what's going on, and then we go through scouting a lot, and yeah.
You're probably the guy that gets to watch him do his thing the least, because you get him the ball and then you've got work to do.
Yes, sir.
What is it like to play with Welker when you know that he's got the capabilities and that he's healthy again? And like I mentioned, he's getting the ball to so many different guys. What's it like to be a part of that offense?
I mean, yeah, I have total trust in him. I think he's a great quarterback, and he'll put the ball where you want it, and he'll get it to where you and he needs to. And I mean, he'll make the right reads, the right calls, and I mean, there's no question about like, oh, I wish you would have done this on this play. Like, I think he always makes the right decisions.
We're talking a lot about offense, but you guys' defense has been pretty salty so far this year. What's clicking on that side of the ball that you think will kind of take you into district and make you guys effective for these next 5 weeks?
Yeah, I think we've done pretty good. I don't know if I have, can't think of anything.
Tell me what the strengths of the defense are.
I mean, we've got lots of strengths at D-line. Our linebackers, I think, are starting to get there. And then our DBs, of course, we had some injuries earlier, but I think we've come back strong from that. And I think we're a really solid defense right now.
And there's also always, especially on defense, you had to live with the next man up mentality last year on offense with Welker being hurt. But defense, you guys have a lot of guys that just click in and do their job. To me, defense is maybe what makes Lubbock Christian go. I know offense sells tickets or whatever the cliche is, but for both you guys, how far can this defense take you this year?
I think defense could take us really far. You know, defense wins championships.
See, you got the cliche down.
You know, you can't have a good team without a good defense. So without a good defense, it would be just mainly an offensive game, and there's no point in having an all-offensive game without defense.
No, when that other team winds up with 0 points, that's awfully hard to win a game that way.
Yes, sir.